Hello, Congressman. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. I know we're short on time, so we'll make this quick and efficient, the Elon Musk style. Talking about this CR, how clean are we talking?
Well, we haven't seen the text yet, but we certainly, in our conversations with the White House, my understanding from the Speaker's office, that this should be a truly clean CR in the sense that it'll be a spending freeze. You have to have some anomalies in there, is what we call them in Washington, which means some variabilities for defense, for veterans, and other things in contracts and when things expire. So you have to make some tweaks, but it'll be a true spending freeze. Keeping spending levels at current levels so that we can give the president the room he needs to empower Elon, keep the lights on while Democrats are trying to threaten to shut down the government to stop Elon.
Because I mean, you're known as a fiscal conservative, so you'd be comfortable with this. Usually, you're the kind of person I would turn to if there's a CR and be like, "Are you okay with this?"
Yeah, because look, when you're freezing spending and holding it in check, and then you're giving the executive branch the power that they have, that I believe they have under the Constitution, to restrain spending and empower Elon to expose all this waste, fraud, and abuse, that's going to empower us in the appropriations process this summer, now that we truly do have the trifecta. Remember, this appropriations season, half of it was already blown up by Biden, Chuck Schumer, and the Democrats. So now we've got a week till the government funding expires. So in my view, freezing spending at current levels and then empowering Elon, empowering the president, that is a wise move to set us up for success to deliver for the American people.
Are you nervous? It seems I've been talking to a lot of your Republican colleagues, and they seem to start getting nervous about what they're hearing from their constituents in their districts about what the what the DOGE cuts have meant for them. Are you noticing that too? Do you think that they need to get a spine?
Well, no, look, I think most of my constituents are happy to see us identifying waste, fraud, and abuse and all the things that need to be restrained. Freezing spending is part of that, but also, eliminating federal bureaucrats. But people that are, getting nervous about what they're identifying, which part of these things do we think we ought to continue, right? Any of the questions that are being raised when there's something that's maybe been shut down briefly, Elon and the folks in the administration, they've said, oh yeah, let's adjust that and fix that. But what they're doing is identifying mountains of waste, duplicate Social Security numbers, a $32,000 payment for a transgender comic book in Peru. Like, this is just mind-blowing stuff that most Americans don't want to see continue. So we're going through that process. And, it's like when you're cleaning your house out. You got to go through the house, clean all the stuff out, go back up the moving truck, take it, to the dump, all the waste. But you got to keep the power on and able to be able to do that.
So are you confident enough Republicans will by Friday be on board with the CR and you won't even need to turn to Democrats to make up the votes?
Well, understand that to pass in the Senate, right, we will need 7 votes, 7 Democrat votes. But in the House, I think we can get there. Look, that's the work of the Speaker. That's the work of the whip and the majority leader. But we're all working hard together because I think, again, if the average American, if we can freeze spending for 6 months and empower the president, that's a win. Let's keep the lights on for these guys. I think most Republicans are going to be able to get there. And I understand why some of my Republican colleagues are saying, look, I don't want to fund USAID. I don't want to fund Planned Parenthood. I don't either. But what I do is I trust this administration to use the dollars wisely, follow the law, but limit the use of those dollars for things that we don't think are appropriate, and then set us up for a successful appropriation season this summer. I think it's the right thing to do. The vast majority of Republicans will support it. And we just got to keep working our colleagues to get the job done by next Friday.
Are you comfortable with Elon, as you said, having, like, it seems like the full authority or the leading the charge in this? Or do you think the cabinet should be more involved in their respective department cuts?
Well, look, the cabinet are acting very quickly to go identify cuts. You saw Pete Hegseth, right? He put out an order, go find 8% in cuts. You've got other of the agency heads that are doing the same thing. I mean, Sean Duffy's done stuff over at transportation. They got great leadership. Elon is simply just acting to identify this and present it to the president and present it to the secretaries. Say, hey, here's what we should do. Elon, I think, is serving as a valuable tool with a microscope, shining the light on all of this waste, and then allowing the actual executive branch, the president, to make the decisions. That's the way it should work.
Got it. And do you mind if I just ask one question while I have you on TikTok? Because we had talked about a year ago or so. We were on the China committee, and you were adamant about the ban and everything. Obviously, the president's evolved. Have you evolved at all? Are you comfortable with his hope to have it transition into American ownership, or do you just still want it gone?
Well, remember that the purpose of that bill was to say that unless it's going to have American ownership, that we needed to stop it because they're collecting data on American citizens and allowing the Chinese Communist Party to use that against us. We think that is still the policy. That's still the law of the land. The president is looking at the bill and looking at what he can do to try to see if we can get American ownership. We're still in that window. And I'm giving I think the president is right to go see what we can do because it's technology that, a lot of Americans like. But we shouldn't be empowering the Chinese Communist Party. President agrees with that. And so we're all trying to work together to deliver. But the law of the land, right? We passed a law that said that we got to make sure American owns that company or it's going to have to stop doing service. But the president's going to be working to negotiate all of that.
Do you think, though, the current April deadline should stick?
Well, I got to look at that and go talk to the president, talk to his team. We got to follow the law and then try to do what we can to make sure that only Americans own it, or they should stop, having service in the country because that's what the law said.
Got it. Congressman, thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend. Appreciate your time. Take care.